Hi, I'm Adrian. I'm a certified teacher for the Alexander Technique, teach full-time. And today I want to talk to you about a thing called positions of mechanical advantage. Now, a position of mechanical advantage is something I personally believe is quite misunderstood. To the point that I think people too strongly associate it with the Alexander Technique, with things you should be doing, ways of behaviour, ways of using yourself. And I want to disavow that idea. And I think it's very important to understand what positions of mechanical advantage are not. And it's all in the name, actually. It's a position of mechanical advantage, not guarantee. It's not a position of mechanical guarantee. And I think that's a great misunderstanding that's generally made when people think about the Alexander Technique and think of how they're supposed to be, how they should be doing certain movements. Now, traditionally, when we talk of a position of mechanical advantage, it could be a lunge, but it's typically anywhere between standing and sitting, or what we commonly call as a monkey, because, well, you know, if you go halfway down to somewhere and the arms are hanging, it looks a bit monkeyish. Alexander really disliked it being called the monkey, but he got lumbered with it because his first round of student intake to learn his technique with him got fed up with the same mechanical advantage. Anyway, yes, that's the important thing. It's a position of mechanical advantage, not guarantee. You get the guarantees from your awareness of yourself and activity. I think it's really important to understand that there's no movement you can make that's the wrong movement to make. There's no such thing as a wrong movement. We haven't evolved joints and muscles that allow us to make movements we're not supposed to make. I mean, it's just a ridiculous idea to even think of such a thing. But what we do have is a lack of awareness in anything we may be doing. And that's where something like a mechanical advantage comes useful, not because it's the right thing to do, because it's the easiest thing to do. And by easiest, I mean the thing you're least likely to react to. So what Alexander said himself about his work, it was dealing with the stimulus of living. Which is obviously a very broad statement. So there's no wrong movement, but certain movements are challenging. They're harder. And the harder something is, the more likely you are to react to it. It doesn't make it wrong, but it means you have to really be on top of your game. You have to be in performance mode. An example might be an actor playing Richard III, who's famously got a hunchback. Is it wrong for him to play, be like this for an hour and a half, 2-hour performance? No, of course not. It could just be a shape. It can be lightly held to give an impression of something. It doesn't have to be done with tension. But in order to maintain that, the actor's got to really be on top of their performance thinking game, which you can get away with that on stage, and that's it. You don't be doing that all day though, do you? Of course not. A great example, by the way, if you've ever seen the film The Usual Suspects with Kevin Spacey, there's a scene at the end. If you're not familiar with the film, watch the film. If you've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. In fact, I might actually look on YouTube in a bit to see if there's a quite famous scene at the end of the film. I might have a look, and if it's available, if someone's already cropped it out, I'll put it in the comments, or put it in the link below. So, yeah, there's no such thing as a wrong movement. It's an advantage. It's an advantage to have my head balanced and poised in a certain way, but do I have to be there all the time? No. If I want to look up, I can look up. I can bend my head, I can do other stuff, I can even stand up like that. It's no big deal. But to be like this all day would be pretty stupid, and then it would start to take a toll because it would be hard work and muscles would start to get overused. So I hope I've really made my point strongly there, that the Alexander Technique isn't how you do what you do, it's how you're being while you do what you do. And there are certain things we can do that make the being easier for day-to-day living, but not more right. It's not about getting stuff right. Use the advantage, obviously use the advantage. But if you're not using it, as long as you're on top of your game, that's okay too. Frankly, I like to be constructively lazy, economical if you like, and use the advantage as much as possible. But don't freak out if you're not using it, but you are on top of your game. Well, if you're not using it and you're not on top of the game, we all go wrong. It happens. Don't be too judgmental with yourself. But if you can have the habit of using the advantage so you can build your resilience of that non-reactivity, the inhibition as we call it, so that you can not worry so much about if you're not using the advantage exactly, you may be a little more resilient and you're a little more present to yourself in movement. And if you're more present to yourself in movement, you might look for the advantage anyway. It's just a natural thing to do to find more ease and freedom. Anyway, I think I've made my point. So until next time, take care. Bye.